Welcome back, folks. We headed out, finished down 219, NASDAQ off 42, S&P's off 23. Let's go over to our man, Mr. Jim Prince at gbmembers.com. Jim, what's going on?
Tom, how are you? Did you have a good 4th?
I did have a good 4th. There's nothing like the 4th of July, man. I think it's one of the best holidays we have. It seems that everyone's happy. We get the flags going everywhere. I love fireworks. I love eating. Yeah.
Sure.
You know, it's all good, man, right?
Yeah.
Hey, so, well, first off, tell us your website and tell us what you do over on your website.
Yeah, so our web address is www.gbemembers.com, and that website is primarily based around our futures course, our futures data. We provide a delayed charting system, and I have a ton of videos, probably, years worth of videos there, from training videos for our course to weekly newsletters are there as well, our manual. Basically just everything that we teach, and I've been teaching for the last 12 or 13 years or so.
Okay, cool. And market-wise out here, what are you thinking?
Wow, you know, there's definitely some big movers. You were talking about them just before the break, and gosh, you know, one of the ones that really stood out to me, of course, was wheat, and you did mention that, but just a big mover to the downside. We actually got short that on July 5th for our course members, and we took a little bit of heat there for a bit, but now we're looking pretty good with that trade. That market continues just to sell off, and just a big day again today. What do we have it down over 4% on the session for the September contract?
Monster numbers. There's no doubt about that, man.
That and you talked about crude oil as well. Another just huge day after that little pop higher, and boy, what a move to the downside in crude.
You know, what's intriguing is that it seemed that the crude, it came out of nowhere. I mean, you know, the drawdown was extraordinary. I mean, what happened, folks, is that they were looking. Well, what happened is that the API numbers come out last night, and there was an expansion of the drawdown number compared to what they thought it was going to be. The EIA numbers this morning were huge, meaning the drawdown. And, you know, market pops first, and then it just was relentless on the way down.
Yes, indeed. And then, you know, also on the Forex side of things, we're following the U.S. dollar, Canadian dollar, and what a move there. What a turnaround from the intraday news. Put in that low, and what a substantial rally there in that Forex pair. That's obviously another asset or thing that we tend to follow in Forex markets outside of just the commodity and futures. Of course, the S&P,
yes.
Pretty good day to the downside as well there.
Now, folks, you know what happens. You can find out quite a bit about Jim by coming over to our website at TFNN. You're going to see right under Nadex News. He writes over there. He does webinars over there. And when we bring up the Canadian dollar, this is an aspect that, you know, if you haven't test-driven the Nadex product yet, you want to find risk and come over to our website, hit the banner, test drive it. And this is a classic, okay? And what I'm specifically saying, as Jim was just saying about the volatility inside this, if you were actually in the Forex market and you're just trading Forex versus an option on it, there's no way you could have stayed in it, because we went from 1.3146 to $1 US down to 1.3065. That doesn't seem like a lot, but the Forex market's huge. And then you talk about an expansion, huh, Jim? Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just huge. I'm sorry, go ahead, Tom.
No, go ahead. You can tell them it was a rocket ship. I mean, it was like...
Exactly, a rocket ship. And you're absolutely right. I mean, I was actually trading this morning with Nadex, and it's such a fantastic platform and tool to use. And you're absolutely right about being able to whether you could stay in it or not, Nadex is the great tool to do such a thing. And that is an explosive move here today for sure, rocket ship.
It's pretty amazing, man. And of course, when the dollar goes up like this, folks, okay, that means when the Canadian dollar goes up, that means it's getting weaker against our own U.S. dollar. And there's no doubt, and, you know, we look at the dollar index a lot, but the dollar index, folks, you know, bottom line went up 600 ticks. But you got to remember the correlation, there's direct correlations between the dollar, Canadian dollar, dollar yen, dollar pound, all of the above. And that move there was just extraordinary. Pretty amazing, actually, man.
Yes, for sure.
You know, like, so what else do you think? Well, here, you know, what's so intriguing here, Jim, right, is that, like, I think the market in general is looking, saying, okay, how are the tariffs going to affect us? How are they going to affect commodities, number one? It looks like it's not going to be good for them. The currencies, folks, are always, it's the biggest market in the world. Bottom line, currencies can move markets. And we got movement out here, man. So it's going to be intriguing watching how this whole thing trades out basically the next 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, along the same lines there, we have the big move in gold today as well. And another market, boy, when the dollar is doing its thing, gold is, starting to kind of make its move further lower here today. Just another good follow through down.
Oh, it got smoked. Bottom line is that when you see, gold on April 14th, April 11th, we're at 1375. You're at 1242. Bottom line, the last week it was at 1238. We'll see whether that can hang. And the thing that's pretty amazing, actually, when you're actually looking at the gold market, it's not that the dollar, went up a half a penny, but the bottom line is that it hadn't broken its highs yet. And, gold seems to be basically a lot weaker than the rest of the market. What's intriguing is that it's not weaker than the commodities. Some of these commodities, oil's down 5%, wheat's down 4%. But in the context of getting slammed, we'll see how we come into this weekend.
Yeah. And I think what's really interesting on my gold charts is I have support down here just below where the market is at the moment, down to about 1238.30 or so. So I'm going to be very interested to see how the market will react if it does try to push lower here tomorrow, and see what kind of resistance, or in this case support, is going to hold up there, whether it's going to hold up the market or not.
No, listen, man, the last time that we hit this, folks, okay, gold decided not to jump off the cliff. And this cliff is hanging here, right? I mean, the bottom line, the cliff's kind of hung up here at about the 1238, which is only $4 inside the gold market. So, we'll see where that baby does shake out. So let me change gears with you for a second. What are you thinking on the S&P? I mean, I know we're down $22, and it's kind of interesting. Percentage-wise, that's not down a lot as to, how these commodities are down. We got earnings, banks coming out Friday. It almost seems like the market's not sure what it wants to do there.
Yeah, I agree. Gosh, we had that pretty substantial move up here. I made a video for Nadex on Sunday night, and I think it was the last time I was on, you asked me about the ellipse, and on that video I showed an ellipse, an area I thought the market was going to move into, and it talked about that on the Sunday night video. And boy, the market came right to a T. Now, we're not always that exact, but it came right in, filled that resistance, and hit the resistance area I pointed out, which is right around the 2790-ish level. And it exceeded that a bit, and now we're moving back down, as you were talking about, not really sure what it wants to do. I think if we get some follow through here to the downside the next couple of days, we're going to come down and test that 2754 level. It's very possible. Whether it's this week or not, that remains to be seen. But I have some support there and just a little bit lower. That now, folks, it's very easy to be tested.
Folks, you can come right over to our website at TFNN. You hit Nadex News. If you happen to watch on Target TV, you're going to see the video that I have that Jim just talked about right up on the front page. Nadex Weekly Market Outlook for the E-minis. Jim, it's always a pleasure. Have a great week, safe week. Look forward to speaking to you next week.
Hey, thanks, Tom. Take care.
Thank you.